Well, hey, welcome to an update here for July, a Freed for the Future update. We did give you one in June, and this past Sunday, Wes Pike and myself had the opportunity to update our congregation on where we are at. And I just wanted to give you a brief overview and maybe a reminder for you of what this vision is anchored in and some of the ministry objectives that we do have that's attached to it. As you can see on the TV here, our ultimate goal is to eliminate the debt on our building. It's about $400,000, and we, in pitching this vision, needed to attach this almost like a domino, a first step in accomplishing what we want to do in our ministry buckets, specifically bucket 1 and bucket 2, and I just want to remind you of what those are. So the idea is as we eliminate the debt, we can start to consider what it would look like to bring Chandra Pike up to full-time as our Director of Family Ministries. Currently, she works as the Director of Kids Ministry here at Rocky. She oversees our Wednesday afternoon kids club during the school year and then facilitates and leads out our Sunday morning Discovery Land time with our kids. And we would love to get her increased to full-time with hopes of a title change to oversee what it would look like to disciple families here at Rocky Mountain Church. And bucket 2 then is this idea that as the kids ministry develops, as we see needs in Estes Park for youth development and youth discipleship, we would hire a strategic position that would manage and oversee middle school, high school, and college age ministries here at Rocky Mountain Church, and would also help with pulpit supply. It would be an associate pastor position. And that would be some ideal goals as we think about eliminating the debt, and it's something that we're super excited about. And anything you want to add to that, Wes, as it just reminders of why we're doing this?
Yeah, I would just kind of add in that we're looking really at what do we think our community, even our region, really needs, and what can Rocky Mountain Church do specifically to help advance the gospel. And we really do see that in the area of really growing families. This associate pastor job for bucket 2 would also oversee our core groups. So that would include our life groups. And we'll have an announcement for you guys in September also on what that kind of ministry look is going to be for us going into the future. And then really I want to be able to give you some discussion ideas, some thinking points about a timeline for when we might be able to act on those. And that'll come right along with the financial update that we'll give here next.
Yeah, so here's what we've been wanting to share with you guys, and it's super exciting. It's amazing that we've been able to raise and have pledges of $307,511.
So if you remember last time, we were just over halfway to that $400,000 target. We're over 3/4 of the way there now. And one big increase that I want to make sure I point out is in the cash in hand number. That has increased over $100,000 since we gave the June update. And we had given a challenge of sorts to the Rocky body that if we could raise the next $25,000 of cash in hand, a Rocky donor was ready to meet that with the next $25,000. We surpassed that. That came in at about $51,000 of new cash in hand, plus the donor pledge of $25,000. And then we saw about another $25,000 of pledge gifts that became cash in hand. So our goal, and this is from me communicating to you as the chairman of our administrative team that oversees really our day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month finances, is we want to use this money to make a big pay down check on that outstanding mortgage debt at the end of July or into early August. And if this is the number that we pay that down, our Rocky family has saved the church 35 months of mortgage payments. And in addition to that, the next payment that we make in August, $700 more goes to principal as opposed to interest. So that is really a double win. It's an incredible update to give you guys a progress report that we're over 3/4 of the way of getting to that $400,000 full debt pay down.
And I said this on Sunday to the congregation, when we cast this vision, when we were talking about the future and what it could look like here at Rocky, it was much bigger than any one of us, bigger than our staff, our elder team, our A team. And to Wes's point, we asked the compelling question, what does Estes Park truly need? And it needs gospel saturation. And we've got generations coming up, 2 to 3 of them, that have no history of understanding who God is. They don't have that biblical literacy that we were fortunate to grow up in the 80s and the 90s. And now you've got generations that are labeled the nuns, right? They have no religious affiliation, and they have parents that don't have religious affiliation. And so we know that as we look at the landscape in Estes Park and in the valley and beyond, that the gospel has great opportunities to flourish and grow. And I think people are ready for it. And so a question I guess I have for you, Wes, is as we get closer to really filling this debt bucket, right, eliminating this debt, what would it look like to start to fill bucket 1 and potentially bucket 2?
Yeah, great question. So let me provide a little bit of kind of the detail and the thinking behind that. So a couple things to really keep in mind is that in the current fiscal year budget for 24-25, we didn't build in any kind of promotion plan for a new staff member to go to full time. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that our month over month giving is not only meeting obligations of the current budget, but we would then need to be confident that we can then support those increased monthly financial obligations for a full-time staff, which is not only an increase in salary, but that also has to do with health insurance and a contribution towards retirement and an HSA. So we really need to see more of a steadying in that month over month giving. Keep in mind that very same budget, while we're getting close to a future promise of having that debt fully gone, we're still contractually obligated to make the same amount of monthly payment until that debt is fully paid for. And that's almost $8,000 a month. So really it's those two things going together, is we do need to see a steadying of our month over month giving close to the projections that we would be giving you guys either in bulletin updates or from me individually on Sunday announcements, along with knowing that we're not going to be making any more of those debt payments. So we would love to act on that first promotion for Chandra in bucket 1 as soon as possible, but we also know that we can't overcommit the church into any kind of monthly payment commitment if we're not totally confident that our month over month giving is where it needs to be in a consistent basis.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think we want to obviously celebrate what God has done and the generosity and the sacrificial giving. And we want to continue to move towards the future, knowing that the race isn't done yet, you guys. We want to keep plotting. We want to keep planting and tilling. And I know, and I can see it in my mind, a future that is vibrant here at Rocky Mountain Church. And just to be honest with you guys, we've been through a lot of transition over the last 3 years. It doesn't define us. It is something that has almost fueled us in a sense to say, all right, God, what do you want to do here? What are you doing? How are you moving? How are you speaking? And how can we be wise to that? And so we want to be wise with our finances. We know that by eliminating this debt, it helps us move to this next step of dreaming and fulfilling these ministry buckets. And I know we can get there, you guys. And so we're so thankful for you. We're thankful for your generosity. We're thankful that you come here and you worship with us. And it's a privilege to do this as a team. Our staff's in a great place. Our A team has done a great job. just handling and providing wisdom, and our elders on general governance has been just a blessing as well. So we wanted to thank you for your time. Thank you for your willingness to listen to this update. And we look forward to seeing you at Praise in the Park this Sunday, 10 a.m. downtown. We're going to have a great time together. God bless.